There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, two-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small, some people tinker some degree between those two variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle name. Well, technically it's our first.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round 9 of the Supercheap Auto V8 East Coast Series, coming to you tonight from the Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas. And of course, I did say the Circuit of America, but tonight I'm John Van Ree, by the way, and then tonight we're actually going to be running the West Circuit. So you can see the little red squiggly line in there, but we're going to start on the main straight, up the big hill into one of the most strangest corners in motorsport. Many apexes, many different lines you can take through that corner. Then we sweep down through turn 1 and back down the hill through the fast blowing turn 2, turn 3, 4, back off the gear into 5, pull it up in third into 6, and then we take the short chute cross to the back straight. And that short chute, very difficult. In the middle of that, very, very much a incident track limit area in there. Then we spin around into turn 12, then back onto the old circuit, of course, and then through the double apex of 13, 14. Then we come down into the deep apex of 15, 16, of a very tight, difficult corner to get right. And then we've got what I call the hexagon, as we go through 17, 18, sweep down the hill through the fast flowing 19, pull it up into 20 and get into the start finish line. And that track circuit is 4.18 kilometers. It's 18 turns out of the 20 turns on the circuit. So we actually do pick up a couple little squiggles in the middle there, as I was talking about. And it's a tough little track. The V8s were here a week or two ago, and quite a few boys suffered a lot of incident troubles. And of course, that makes it rather interesting for everybody. And of course, tonight with our race, we've got some very interesting track conditions. We've got two 20-lap races. And of course, we have our 20-minute open quali, which has just started. As see, we've got a few cars out on track already at the moment, doing some interesting driving. So we've got two 80-kilometre races. And of course, we have to do one compulsory pit stop in either race. Interestingly, tonight, they've only got 15 incident points, which is quite low for the distance of the race. So it'll be very interesting to see how these guys go, whether anyone gets themselves into pen trouble. So I have to keep a close eye out for that. Anyway, have a quick look here. These boys are just getting themselves going. And to watch, of course, on track tonight will be our fast man, James Scott. We might, while these boys are still circulating, Kenneth Ladder's gone across the line, Hobson, Young. James Scott can't be too far away, as he's just sweeping through hexagon. Let's try and get the camera fix up. Might just quickly do in 2 seconds. Not sure why my cameras are playing up. That's why. That should solve that problem for us. Now we can see the cars again. And that sees James come across with a 1:32.8. He's already half a second quicker than Kenneth Ladder. Hobson in third, Morris in fourth, McDonald in fifth. Great from Zach. Young 9.5er himself. And then we have Young, of course, Chastaneuf, Stewart, Tim Mulford, Chris Smart, Dave Kirby in 11th, Jamie McKnight back with us tonight. The People's Champion himself sitting in 12th, Brady Baldwin in 13th, Davis 14, 15, Chris Funky Miller, 16th, Matty Whitaker. So boys are already starting to get some times in. As James Scott running away there back in on an outlap. And we might just take the time while the boys are circulating and have a quick look at the championship points. So we can see Damien Johnstone is actually our championship leader at the moment from Paul Young. I believe there's been no drop rounds taken in this one so far, but Brenton Hobson, our current champion, very close. Harrison Dengate sitting in fourth in the championship, which I think is an outstanding effort for young H, but not racing tonight, so that'll be costly. James Chastanee's in fifth. Dave Kirby in sixth. Punky Miller in seventh. Kristen Smart, eighth. Ninth, Ben Morris. Michael Angus, Beef Cheeks in 10th from Fishy Motorsports. Robert Gibbs from ERT in 11th. And then got Tim Mulford, Tom Freeman, Blake Warboys. It's our season 1 champion back in 14th. Zach McDonald in 15th. Davis, Coleman, Ladder, Clark's doing really well in 19th. James Scott in 20th after missing a couple of rounds due to holidays. Michael Stewart in 21st. Craig Schultz in 22nd. Michael Whiting 23rd. So that's pretty much a very full looking championship board there as we jump back in. James Chastaney, one of the ones to keep an eye out for tonight. The big Bay 21 logo on the bonnet. Paul Young. So it looks like there's a few boys here on some outlaps. Of course, if you're watching along, don't be scared. Jump in the chat, say good day. Let us know how you're going. Just me again tonight, Mark Duggan, my usual regular co-commentator. He's still on holidays. I hope he's enjoying laying on a beach somewhere. And definitely needs to break, so hopefully he'll come back with his batteries fully charged. Let's have a bit of a look at Hobbo. Another one here bouncing around on that outlap. So this is a tough little track. It's a Formula One circuit, and I think it's a circuit that's really more designed for Formula One than these cars. As I was saying the other day, the V8 Vets boys had some real trouble around this place. As Hubbo now makes a start. Then switch to qualifying mode so we can see what's going on. See McKnight's on a bit of a flyer. What? All boys, all green, yellow sectors, not going much quicker there. Jamie McKnight at the moment, he's the man on a hot lap. Bounces it through the centre ripper strip there. Big shout out to Joshy Barella as well. How are you, Josh? Hope you're doing well, mate. Great to have you back with us. And Jamie McKnight, you're looking very racy. Jump on with the nose. The tyres screeching through the corners there. Of course, only got 12 minutes left in this practice session. Sorry, in this qualifying session. Hobson behind him. He's got all green sectors as well so far. Comes Jamie McKnight into the final corner. Takes it around, heads up the start, finish straight, across the line, goes a bit slower in that last sector, but he jumps up into the top 10 with a 131.815. And the next bloke we'll have a look at will be Kenny Ladder. And it's, of course, sitting second in the board at the moment. Can he improve his time? Gets a slight improvement, jumps up to a 130.728. Tim Mulford, James Chastaneef looks like the next man on a charge. Here comes Chasty coming through. This looks like he can't go much quicker in that final sector, but holds his spot in 7th. So the man to watch at the moment is this bloke, James Scott. Might just jump on board here with James. As you can see, we're in a purple sector, the middle sector. It's final sector. What can he do here? Can he go quicker than his 130.282? He comes across the line, he shaves it down to a 130.215. Good to hear you getting better, Josh. As we continue on. See who else is on a bit of a quicker lap. I'm not seeing any purple sectors coming through from the boys. Knight looks like he might be on the improve. Can he get himself back into the top 10? Comes down into the penultimate corner. Definitely two pink sectors, sorry, a green sector. Another green sector would finish this one off quite nicely for him. And he's into the pits. Rather interesting there. So you can see at the moment, a few boys on out laps, a few boys on in laps. Tim Mulford looks like the next man. He's heading into the pits as well. Beef Cheeks Angus, what's he up to? What's Michael? Oh, hang on to it, son. Not quite. Definitely very unfishy-like. That's all I can say there. But gets the flick spin round. Nicely done. Might jump on with Paul Taylor on an out lap. Sorry, Paul Young, sorry, he's on an out lap. Just looking for someone here on a lap. Whitaker looks like he's on a lap in the battery warehouse entry from Fishy Motorsports. It's good, Josh. They're back at the cricket, mate. As we continue on. Matty Mascord back with us tonight as well. And as Whitaker go quicker, coming across the line, heading up the hill. Whitaker obviously didn't go any quicker on that one. Might jump on with Kenny Ladder. He's on an out lap at the moment. Hobbo. He looks like he's on a hot lap. Warboys is the other one they will look at. Warboys hasn't set a time yet, which is interesting. It's coming through in the third sector. Running around. It's a little bit loose there, keeps it inside. As I said, this track's very tough for sectors. Sorry, not sectors, sorry, for incident limits. So Warboys through the final corner, heading up the hill. And I don't think he's going any quicker. In fact, he hasn't even set a time, so there must have been a 1X in there somewhere for Warboys. So big at the moment, having Blake without a time posted. Let's jump on, check with Kenny Ladder. We might go to Dave Kirby, actually. He's got some green sectors. See how Ladder goes here when he crosses the line. It's gone. Is Ladder going to improve? Doesn't look like it. Just jump on with Dave Kirby. Dave Kirby setting 2 green sectors. Let's have a look, see what he can do here in this final sector. Car looking very controlled. Very stable. Turns around, head up the hill for the final time. And Kirby goes up 1 spot. Next man behind him is on a bit of a mission. Is Jamie McKnight. Can McKnight get himself up the leaderboard a little bit? As Jamie jumps up into 10th, so puts McKnight into the top 10. Great little effort there from the People's Champion. And of course, Kenneth Ladder with a purple sector in that sector 1. So times are starting to heat up here a bit. Went orange in the second sector. So can he make a comeback here and split the difference? Another purple sector here might see him get up. He comes in the penultimate corner. Drifts a little wide. Surely that's got to be a 1X. That's got to be the end of it. And into the pits. Very tough track. Doesn't take much to get get incident points. Ben Morris on a flyer. And of course, sitting in 6th. See if he can finish off with another green sector here. Prove his time. Love to get in front of Paul Young and Damien Johnstone. And he does. Jumps up into fourth. Very quick time there from Ben Morris, one of our improving drivers in the series. As Warboys heads out again. So at the moment I've got Warboys and Mascord who haven't set a time. The last man down the back there, Matty Whitaker. So I'm interested to see what Warboys can do. Here he is on an out lap. Time ticking away. He's only got 4 minutes and 40 seconds left before the flag drops on this qualifying session. So, what can Blake do? As heading down. WK&P entry. Might just quickly jump to Michael Angus. Oh, Fishy Beef Cheeks. Coming through the penultimate corner. He's got a green sector for sector 2. Can he finish this off with his best time? Can he improve on 16th? Bracking effort. And he goes at 130, so doesn't improves himself to 14th. Next man in the train coming through, Hobson. Hobson sits into third spot. Great one there from Hobson. And the next man to have a look at with the purple sector, sector 2, is Scott. Comes running down the hill. Into the final turn, catching Zach McDonald in front of him very quickly. And can we get a time in here? Hobbs, James Scott doesn't improve, stays at 130.66. Let's quickly check back on with Warboys. Battling away here. Jump on the drone cam. Battling away very hard. Right, battling away, Warboys. Didn't go quick enough in sector 2 there. This could be an issue. Battles on. Down in the penultimate corner. And into the pits. With 2 minutes to go, are we going to see Warboys starting from rear of grid? That could be very interesting. And big shout out to Steve Murray, who's jumped onto the chat and watching. As we roll on to Zach McDonald. I think the temperatures might be warming up here a little bit. Times are starting to fall away a little bit. So, not many cars on track tonight. It's what Dave Kirby does a little bit quicker, leaves himself in 12th on that run. And Paul Young, of course, the other man on track here. It's like he's not going to go much quicker with 2 yellow sectors. We might jump on with the hard charging Tim Mulford. Let's see if he can pick himself up after going yellow in the second sector. And Alford comes around the ultimate corner. Pull it up here for the last one, keep it clean. Clock ticking away here. Mulford with a 130.2. Doesn't improve him on the leaderboard. So only 3 cars on track plus Warboys. Not much to go by here. Warboys, of course, on an outlap, and time just stopped dead. So I don't think we're going to see Blake make the grid. So speaking of the grid, let's have a quick look. And we have, of course, Kenny Ladder sitting in the second row. Sorry, sitting in second next to his teammate in first, who is James Scott, again on pole. This man can not miss a trick when it comes to qualifying. Second row, we see Brenton Hobson sharing it with Ben Morris from Phase 4 Motorsport. So Synergy Sim Racing taking out the top 3. Damien Johnstone, our championship leader, sitting in 5th alongside Banter Alliance's Paul Young. Zach McDonald from 9.5 Sim Sports in 7th, with James Chastanuth and Banter Alliance in 8th. Michael Stewie Stewart in 9th from Hypersonic Racing alongside the People's Champion Jamie McKnight from Synergy Sim Racing in 10th. And then behind him is his good mate Christian Smart in 11th from Synergy Sim Racing alongside Fishy Motorsports Dave Kirby. As we move to the next row, we've got Tim Mulford. Of course, Timmy from Phoenix Racing, teammate with Rian Leonage. And then in 14th, we've got Michael Angus and Fishy Motorsports. In 15th, we have Banter Alliance's Warren Davis. Chris Funky Miller is sitting in 16th, Pepecki Performance Racing. High Octane Sim Sports, Brady Baldwin, who I think is not in that team. I think there's a bit of a SDK issue there. I think Brady's in another team now. Then we've got Matty Whitaker, the fishy man himself, sitting in 18th. 19th is Matty Masgood from Synergy Sim Racing. And then we've got Blake Warboys, who didn't set a time. Shout out to Dave Coleman as well, sitting in the chat. And then we have Ash Barella and Richard Barella in race control and helping out, Richie in the safety car. And then we have Dave Worrell, otherwise known as Gunther von Nordschleife, sitting in race control as well. So that is our grid for this race. So this one is shaping up to be another great one as we wait for everyone to take the grid. Still got about 40 seconds to go. And we might just quickly have a quick word. With 20 seconds to go, Blake, you're sitting at the back. What's the plan?
Have fun.
Have fun? No worries.
That's about it.
Off tracks was the issue?
Well, yes and no. Just rusty. No
Rusty.
practice this week, so yeah, we go.
No worries, mate. I'll jump out. I'll leave you to it.
Thank you.
There you go. Words from the man at the back of the grid. As we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Green flag. We're away. We are racing. Looks like a slower car in the back there. Looks like it was Kenny Ladder, I think. Nut McKnight going backwards. Oh, and Warboys into McKnight being bumped in. So that's not a great start for Blake. Poor Jamie. Looks like we're a little bit wide there coming down the hill as well with Kenny Ladder. But James Scott here definitely getting the jump on the start line. As we scroll through. Oh, Ladder in trouble as well in the back there. Not sure what's happened to Kenny. We'll come back to that. As James Scott cuts through. And continuing on. Bit of action, but at the moment we've got Scott, Hobson, John Stone up 2 spots, Ben Morris, Paul Young, Chastanuth up 2, Dave Kirby up 5 with Mulford up 5, Christian Smart up 2, Baldwin up 7 in the 10th. That's our big movers and shakers, as it looks like this small field's starting to settle itself down a little bit. Still some battles towards the back, but we'll get to them in a minute. What we might do is we might quickly jump in and have a quick look at what happened to Warboys and McKnight. And quickly jump back here. So it was a bit of a scramble at the back. Looks like one of the fishy cars has given McKnight a tap. He's tapped into War Boys. I think that might be Dave Kirby, maybe. Dave Kirby. No, he went off the track to get around McKnight. So a bit of action there. Let's go have a look what happened to Kenny Ladder real quick. This is coming a little bit of a bump there from Zach McDonald, I think. Not 100% certain on that. And poor old Kenny. Leave that one up the race control if there's anything going to happen there, as we'll go back to live pictures. So James Scott in this 20-lap race already walking away a little bit. As why is that doing now? Hide that and that one up. So we can sort of see we've got a few boys spread out a bit at the moment. But James Scott walking away here. He's already at the 1.7 second lead from Hobson. Hobson has walked away a little bit. 0.7 already. Sorry, 0.1 from John Stone. John Stone nicely sitting in third with Ben Morris tucked in behind him. Still a little bit of a gap there. You've got to try and stay in that draft. As we go back to Paul Young and Chastanou, the Banter Alliance boys working together here. And we'll jump a bit further back. Dave Kirby up 5 spots in 7th. Great drive from Mr. Fisher himself. And behind him we've got Tim Mulford from Phoenix Racing. Christian Smart in 9th. 10th is Baldwin. Of course, Baldwin, another one of the ones, as I said before, was in a new team, which is Synergy Sim Racing. Battling away quite hard. Warren Davis and Banter Alliance. And Warren tucked in behind Michael Angus. Chris Funky Miller tucked in behind him. So definitely happening in the background here. Jump back up to Paul Young. Oh, sorry. Paul Young definitely under pressure from his teammate. Not sure what sort of team orders it'd be out there at Banter Alliance. Probably a little bit more organised now that Dave Baldock's left and formed Dave 37 Racing. Sounds more like a horse racing syndicate that's a scam. Dave 37 Racing. You're out there on the chat, Dave. Tell us what's really going on. There's these boys battling along quite nicely here. And Brenton Hobson, of course, holding off Damien Johnstone. This is the battle for 2nd and 3rd. So Hobbo, car looking very settled. Very balanced, as you can see through this infield section. Very tough little bumpy spot. Makes his way through. Johnstone trying to hang on there a bit. Might jump back, check on how Beef Cheeks Angus is going. He's under a fair bit of pressure in there as well. Tucked up behind Brady Baldwin. Brady looks like he's being held up by Christian Smart, so bit of action early on, but these boys look like they've started to settle down a bit. Of course, we've got to make one compulsory pit stop in either race. And we've had no one duck in yet except for Matty Mascord. Michael Stewart, James McKnight, Kenny Ladder's also done a pit stop as well. So, Beef Cheeks Angus. I don't know how you get a bull in amongst the fish, but anyway, have to call him the bull shark maybe. He sounds better than Beef Cheeks, if you're listening, Dave. And continuing on, we'll jump back up. Paul Young still taking a lot of pressure from the James Chastaneef he's got sitting behind him. Of course, the Bay 21 Coffee staring down his teammate. So these very short, sharp sections of this track, you don't really get a break except for the main straight. It's tough on tyres. And very difficult for these boys this evening. What we might do, we might take this as an opportunity to throw in a quick little ad break while we sit on lap 5 of 20.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
And people who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small. And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name. Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super.
Of course, big thank you to our title sponsor, Supercheap Auto, for making everything in the V8 East Coast Series possible. Of course, I must also thank some of our other sponsors like Vehicle Finance Solutions, the Pool Guys in Adelaide, West End Motor Group, Corolla Cabinets. Events like these don't happen without loyal sponsors. And of course, you've got to thank the drivers as well. These boys battle it out hard every week in this series. Might have a bit further back, see how Brady Baldwin's getting on. He's still tucked up behind Christian Smart, with Michael Angus not too far behind. We might go a little bit further back. Blake Warboys, he started from rear grid, was spun and going into turn 1 up the hill. He's still battling away. He's up 5 spots into 15th. And might just do a quick check on Jamie McKnight, of course. He's battling back after some early incidents as well. He's working his way through. Lined up James Scott, who's out to a 4.5 second lead after 7 laps. Not even the halfway point of this race. James walking away from Hobbe. Might jump back into where the battles are. Chasty trying to hunt down his teammate. That centre section of the circuit quite bumpy. Hey, on board with Chasty there, having a good look around. Of course, a few other little battles. Chris Funky Miller, he's battling away with Warren Davis. Great to see the Quantum Pecky Performance Racing entry out there. Was going to have Scotty Van Loon joining this season. Of course, Scotty having some issues with health associated with infected tattoo in his leg. So if you're out there, Rattler, time to come back, mate. As Brady Baldwin goes side by side, gets his way past Chris Smart. Chris coming back at him, no. Very tough part of the track to overtake. So opens the door up for Angus. And you get a good exit out of the cut through. No, he doesn't. Gets slower. Baldwin and Smart. This battle really starting to fire up. Of course, James Scott now out to a 6-second lead. Baldwin dropping back a little bit this time by. It's stretching out a little bit. Jump on with Paul Young. This battle's still very close. Kenny Ladder's just had an incident. We might just jump on and see what's just happened to Ken. Supercheap auto replay. Looks like coming down a little bit deep under brakes. Loses it sideways. Tough corner, that one, with the apex coming into it. Keeps reasonable control, makes amends and gets going. This is the closest battle on track at the moment. This is Chastain's Paul Young battle. And Paul gets a bit of a drive through the section of the track to pull away from him. Don't think Paul's got too much more pace here to get the job done. As we check on our mate Hobbo, of course, 6.8 seconds behind our race leader James Scott. Damien Johnstone managing to hang on here. Of course, Damien, the championship leader at the moment, with Cake, no drop rounds into classification. So he's looking quite stable, quite composed. Ben Morris has dropped a further 3.6 seconds off the pace here. Paul Young's 2.5 seconds back. So these battle packs definitely starting to stretch out, as we only reached the halfway distance of race one. Definitely a driver's track, this one. Of course, if you're out there watching, let us know you're supporting. Jump on board. Give them a bit of a rev up. And what we might do is we might just get a quick report from race control and just see what's been going on down in there. What's been happening, Dave, down at race control?
Some car ran into another car, another car ran into another car, and another car hit another car.
Yeah, we saw that going into turn one. Well, that one.
Into turn one and through the chicane as well, and yeah.
So any penalties been handed out?
Yeah, I think there's been a couple. Zach McDonald's been black flagged as well, and I think there's a post-race for Kenneth for not holding brakes.
There you go. Too easy, mate. I thought I'd just get a quick wrap from race control.
Yeah, other than that, it's been pretty good. It's pretty smooth sailing, yeah. So.
How's Richie going, mate? Has he got the Vehicle Finance Solutions safety car warmed up, ready to go?
He's got the bonnet up on it. I think I heard him talking about something about screwing a 500 horsepower nitrous kit or something in it, or screwing the boost up or something.
I can't do that to the Kia.
Can't knock the Kias, mate. They're a good car.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyway, Dave, I'll throw you back down in race control, mate, and hopefully we'll speak to you a bit later if there's a bit of action.
I'll talk to you later. See you, mate.
See you, mate. And let's have a quick look. How are we getting on? Hobbo still at 7 seconds. Damien Johnstone in third. Ben Morris in fourth. Paul Young in fifth. Sixth is James Chastain's. Seventh is Dave Kirby. Tim Mulford Smart, Baldwin, Davis. We did see Chris Funky Miller, and I think we saw someone duck into the pits. I'm not sure exactly who it was. I think it might have been Angus and Warboys have both pitted on lap 10. And Matty Mascoud is up 6 spots in 13th, so that's a fairly good effort there for Matty, considering the start that we've had. And we might quickly take the opportunity to have a quick word to Blake Warboys. How are we, Blake? Jumping in for a quick chat, mate. How's it going? I noticed you pitted lap 10. Strategy to try and get the jump in the next race?
Well, yeah, after that, I can't even call it turn 1 incident. Main straight incident. Yeah, a bit on the back foot as I walk up. Go very wide.
Yeah, you definitely made the replay real.
Yeah, not sure what happened there, but...
What happened there, I'm not 100% certain whether it was Kirby or Angus, but one of them went a little bit wide and then clipped Jamie, and then Jamie rebounded into you. It was a bit
that's what happened.
there, and then Jamie's knocked you off, so...
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'll go to the outside. I should be fairly safe out here. Thinking there might be a big kerfuffle in turn 1 and didn't even make it, so...
Yeah, you definitely, with the unfortunate victim sitting out there all by yourself.
Yeah, but...
Mind you, I don't think Jamie'd be too happy either, because he didn't have the best of starts, unfortunately.
No. But, yeah, I'm just chipping away at it now. It's great having a straight car again with some new tyres on it, so...
Yeah, your lap times are a little bit more consistent. So it'll be interesting to see what you can do now, sort of pushing forward a bit. And of course...
see what sort of pace we've got now and have a real crack in the next one, hopefully.
That's fair enough, and I think you've got a few around you in the same boat, so it'll be quite interesting, I think, to see how you get on.
Yeah, should be a good fun race in the next one.
Yeah.
And possibly towards the end if more people pit.
Well, we'll wait and see what happens, mate. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, so Blake Warboys in the water on lap 1. Pitted early here, so don't forget the guys have got to make one compulsory pit stop in either race. As we jump back on, this battle really starting to tighten up a little bit with Young and Chastaneath. Chasty now really tucked up behind, looking for a way around his teammate. They're battling away very hard. As James Scott has started lap 14 of 20. So not too far to go in this 80-kilometre sprint race. Scott out to an 8.7 second lead from Hobson. Hobson's about half a second from John Stone. That battle's been going at that distance all race. He's 5 seconds up the road from Ben Morris. Chasty looking for the outside line here. He's nearly 4 seconds up the road from this battle here with Paul Young and James Chastaneath. Behind these guys is Dave Kirby, who's up 5 spots. Great drive from Dave. Very talented driver, young Dave. Then Timmy Mulford from Phoenix Motorsport, he's up 5 as well in 8th. Running the Melbourne Hydrographics livery tonight. Brady Baldwin, of course, from Synergy Sim Racing. He's sitting in 9th, just tucked up behind Tim Mulford. And followed by Christian Smart, his teammate behind him. Then Warren Davis having a good one, up 4 spots into 11th. A little bit loose there from Brady. And might just jump on with Chris Funky Miller, who's putting the pressure on Warren Davis. So these boys starting to get a little bit racy back here as well. Yeah, not quite getting the legs that he probably wants there. Of course, might just jump around. Matty Maskell's gone in for his pit stop. As might just jump up, have a look how this bloke's getting on too. Jamie McKnight. He's battling away. Of course, Jamie running the West End Motorsports banner on top of the car there. Of course, West End Motor Group consists of Too Easy Finance, Parramatta Mazda, Parramatta Isuzu Utes, Parramatta Peugeot Professional, Parramatta City Haval and GWM, Great Wall Motors, Blacktown Mazda, Blacktown City Haval and Great Wall Motors. And of course, if you are in the Parramatta or Blacktown area and you're in the market for a motor vehicle, I highly recommend you go and check out, oh, hang on to that, you go and hang out with the guys at West End Motor Group, a sensational sponsor of the series, and of course, been a sensational sponsor of a lot of sim racing over the years. The conglomerate of companies that are West End Motor Group. So definitely a fantastic business. So jump back on, check on Paul Young. He's managed to keep Chastity at bay still. Interestingly, Zach McDonald, who's the lap down, is hanging onto the back of these boys quite well. Of course, this being season 5, entries are open for season 6 at the moment too. So if you're interested in the series, let us know. We'll get in touch with you. Make sure you got all the details you need to join. Should be a link going up on the Facebook page shortly. And not to mention, if you're already in the Discord channel, there's a link there already for joining season 6. Of the great Supercheap Auto East Coast V8 series. Brady Baldwin now side by side with Tim Mulford. Can't quite get it done. Of course, Chris Smart starting to catch on to the back of this group here as well, as we're on lap 17 of 20. Here we go. Baldwin locks them up. That's not good for the tyres. And bit of a weave down the straight here. Starting to get a bit foxy, these boys. Let's see what Mulford can do. Can he defend into turn 1? Looks like gets a job done. Christian Smart getting onto the back of Baldwin here as well. It's now turning into a 3-way battle. Battling away. Warren Davis taking one of the late sneaky pit stops. Starting to see a few of these boys roll out the old stops. I can see Baldwin getting very racy here on Mulford. Let's keep an eye on this little battle pack. Mulford fends. Baldwin goes wide. Can he get it? Not quite. Great driving, great defensive driving. See Smart in the background trying to use the full circuit, get the big lines in. Of course, this track, not a favourite track for most guys. As we come down into the penultimate corner. Not many laps left. These guys only got 3 more chances to do this. Can Baldwin get it done? That is the question. Watch these guys battle away. Excuse me. Might just jump a bit further down. Warren Davis putting all sorts of pressure on the hard charging Jamie McKnight. And also Kenny Ladder involved in this little battle pack here as well. Of course, this is a battle for 13, 14, 15, 16, down around about that area. But you can see these guys having a great crack. We might jump up to Angus and Warboys. Blake goes in deep, locks them up. The old bull shark gets himself around. The Warboys doesn't get the job done there. Timmy Mulford still under pressure again. I don't know really to look at the moment. Really good battles everywhere. Because this is a battle for 8th and 9th, 10th. Great little battle group. As Warboys has got himself past Angus now to move himself into 12th, up 8 spots, including the pit stop. That's going to make it very interesting in race 2, I think. Of course, no safety car in this race. Such a wide track and such big runoff areas. I'd be surprised if we get one. Let's jump on with Young. Chassis, that gap's closed right down again. Can't see James Chastanee's putting the big move on here. Smart championship driving. Eddie Mascoud has jumped up a couple of spots. Moved himself up into 16th. Keep battling away. James Scott starts the penultimate lap. The final lap. Can't see much happening there. Might jump back on with Baldwin, Mulford and Smart. Great little battle. These guys now cross the line for the final time. One last lap. Chastaneef dives into the pits, which is interesting. Doing that very late. Boys coming down the hill. Chastaneef's got himself back out on track. Chasty's got himself back on in 10th. As this man here comes into second last corner. Another great flag to flag drive from this bloke. And someone's had a bit of a spin in front of him now. I think it might have been Matty Mascot, I think. But that is a race victory to James Scott. And Hobbo will bring it home behind. Oh, hang on to it, Hobbo in second. Great drive from Hobbo, eventually getting away from Damien Johnstone. Ben Morris is going to come in third. Paul Young will going to bring it home in fifth, up one spot. And the man behind you here is this fella here, doing a magnificent job. Dave Kirby in sixth. Followed by Mulford in seventh. Managed to hang on from the hard-charging Brady Baldwin behind him. And doing quite well. Gets it across the line. Very close for these guys. Chasty's going to come home in 10th. Of course, Chasty's the leader of our pit stops, which is good to see, interesting to see. And a little bit further back, Stewie is going to come home in 11th. War Boys will be home in 12th, up 8 spots. It's a reasonable comeback. Angus, 13th. Funky Miller. And then we've got McNider. Then we've got Matty Whitaker. Doing a great job bringing that home. 16th up 2 Scots. Matty Muscood up 2 spots into 17th. Then we got Davis, who came for the late pit stop. Kenny Latto, who was involved in a couple of incidents, and Zach McDonald as well. So that's pretty much going to round out the grid for this race. So, of course, we have a 10-minute warm-up and then we're back into it. So what we might do now is quickly jump into an ad from our greatest sponsor.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, two-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small, some people tinker some degree between those two variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle name. Well, technically it's our first.
So back here at Circuit of the Americas. Great drive there from our race 1 winner. A few boys out on track, doing a few circuits at the moment. James Scott being one of them. He's creeping around. Looks like he's practicing his starts, I think. Practicing his starts. Michael Stewie out there as well. A great looking car, of course. Sonic boys always present a good vehicle. Our People's Champion, Jamie McKnight. We'll have a quick chat to Blake if he's there. How you going, Blake?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad.
Too bad. That was a reasonable recovery, mate. You gotta be a little bit happy with that one.
Yeah, pretty good recovery in the end. Just outside the 10, so
That's
yes, it's the smallest field, but still some good quality drivers tonight, so can't complain.
yeah. I think based on my recollections, I think you've really only got, as far as pit stoppers go, you've only got Chastity and Michael Stewart in front of you.
Yeah, I think Chastity pulled out from 6, so quite an interesting move by him.
Yeah, it was. He was tucked up behind Paul Young for a very long time, so I think he might have been thinking get it out of the way with track position.
Ah, trying to undercut the teammate.
Yeah.
Cheeky.
Yeah, definitely an idea in itself. So it'd be interesting to see anyway. So you got Scott, Hobson, Johnson, Morris, Young, Kirby, Mulford, Baldwin, and Christian Smart are all got a stop still.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see when they pit, because that'll be a big telling factor whether they catch back up. It's not the longest pit lane, but it's reasonable, and with I think it's a 50 or 60 km/h speed limit. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they can catch back up. I'm sure Scott, he's always mega quick, so I'm sure he'll be the one to watch out for again, but we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting. I think James will be definitely probably looking, I think, to try and put 4 or 5 seconds on everybody before he goes in.
100%.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because I think if you're waiting for a safety car around here, you're not going to get one. The track's too wide and too open.
I think if everyone gets through turn 1 or up the main straight, it should be pretty clean sailing. Yeah, unless someone blows their engine and doesn't come off the track. Yeah, I doubt there'll be a safety car.
It should be very interesting, I think. See? Anyway, mate, you've got 5 minutes to get yourself sorted, so I'll leave you to it.
Yeah,
And
no worries.
I'll have a chat to you a bit later.
Too easy. I'll be here.
See you, mate.
Yeah.
Let's continue on. It's warm-up session. So, big questions will be, what does James Scott do for his pit strategy? Does he go early? Does he go late, hoping he can put a big gap on everybody? Series champion. Down to the last 3 minutes of this warm-up session. Hey, we might take the opportunity, jump into a quick another ad before we get into this second race.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, two-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small, some people tinker some degree between those two variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle name. Well, technically it's our first.
And of course, down to the last minute of the warm-up before our second race, 80 kilometres, 20 laps. Half the field still have to make their compulsory pit stop. Going to be game on, I think, for a few of these boys. Interesting to see. Top 9 have not pitted. So see how they roll that one out. Paul Young. Finance Solutions sponsored ZB Commodore. And that ends this warm-up session. So can't be too far away now. As we have a quick look at the grid so we can all remember what it looks like. We've got James Scott in first with Brenton Hobson in second. Synergy Sim Racing locked out the top three with Damien Johnstone as well. Phase 4 Motorsports, Ben Morris, Paul Young, Dave Kirby for Fishy up in sixth. Then we've got Timmy Mulford in seventh, Brady Baldwin in eighth. Then we top it up after that with ninth, Christian Smart from Synergy Sim Racing, James Chastanet from Banter Alliance in 10th. First of our pit stoppers. And then we have Michael Stewart, Blake Warboys in 12th, recovering from back of the grid incident. And after that, we come in with Michael Angus from Fishy Motorsports, Chris Funky Miller from Quantum Pecky Performance, Jamie McKnight from Synergy Sim Racing rounds it out with Matty Whitaker on row 8, and then Warren Davis from Banter Alliance against Synergy Sim Racing's Kenny Latta, Paddy Masgood, Zach Brown, Richard Barella. We're about to go racing here. 3, 4, 5. We're off. Great start from James Scott. Gets it away. Looks like Hobson's going to go with him. No, Hobson just disappeared, but he's back. Hobson cuts to the inside early. We're all going to get through. Hobson blinking a little bit. We've got another incident. Ryan picked that one up pretty quick. We'll just let's see things settle down for first up front. But it looks like Chastanet, Smart and Baldwin are involved in something along with Miller and Whitaker. We'll come back to all that. So at the moment it's Scott, Hobson, Johnson, Morris, Kirby, Mulford, Young, Angus, Warboys in the 9th, Stewart into 10th, Chastanet into 11th. So he managed to get going again. A little bit racy back there with Tim Mulford, Paul Young. Let's just drop back a little bit. A few cars. Someone giving Warboys a bit of a tap there. Looks like one of the Fishy boys. I think that might have been Michael Angus. As Warboys gets inside Mulford. I'm not sure whether Mulford's got some damage there, causing the car to slow down a bit. As James Scott comes charging through into the penultimate corner. He's pulled away a little bit by a second already from Hobson. Johnson in third. Morris fourth. No change to this front group. First 4 drivers still in order. And we've got Davis, Kirby, Mulford into the pits. Warboys now into 6th. Great start from Blake. As we've got this massive battle pack here. Paul Young's into the pits early as well. Massive battle pack tucked in behind. That looks like Angus. Side Young, sorry, Chastanet gets the job done. Great little overtake there. Might just quickly see if we can clean up what happened at the start of the race. Might jump on board with Synergy Sim Racing's Brady Baldwin on the Supercheap Auto replay. And looks like nowhere to go. Bit of a tap and just spun there. Oh, and the second one in there for Funky Miller as well. And let's have a look at Christian Smart's view from his car. The Christian Smart, just everyone trying to close into that one gap. It's just a tough corner to get into. Hard to get the apex right, braking uphill. Let's jump back to live pictures now. And we continue on. James Scott, our race leader, 2.5 seconds out. Might have a look at the People's Champion, Jamie McKnight. He's in the top 10 now. He's up 5 spots. The man in front, Matty Whitaker's up 7 spots into 9th. And of course, Chastanet up 2 spots into 8th, plus Angus and Warboys up 6 spots each into 6 and 7. Kirby in 5th, up 1 spot. And of course, Kirby's got a pit again. Do my double takes. So, of course, Scott, Hobson, Johnston, Morris, Kirby have all got a pit. So our top 5 cars still need to pit this race. Everyone else back has already pitted. Jamie Knight doing well. We'll keep an eye on this battle. Jump back up with Hobson sitting in 2nd spot. Synergy Sim Racing still looking out the top 3. Very interesting. James would have to be trying to get much time as he can up the road from Warboys. That will be the question at the moment. Drop that back to that there. The gap is so we can see from Warboys. Probably need to go that one, not that one. So you see the gap there. So that's what we're looking at. Hobson, Scott's basically got himself 8 seconds on Warboys. I reckon he's probably going to need about 20 seconds here to get a pit stop done. That's going to be the closing factor. He'll be looking for about 20 seconds on Warboys. Warboys managing to keep that gap about 8 seconds. They're in for a great cracking battle here, I think. Keep an eye on that one and see how it folds out as the race progresses. As you can see, James Scott there definitely getting away in front. Might jump on with Chastity. It's back in 8th. He's one of the other stoppers here. Keeping the pressure on Matty Whitaker. Great little drive. Working his little backside off his chassis. Jump back on with Beef Cheeks. Can he hang on to it? Nicely closes the door. Chastaneve. Working very hard here. Of course, the big Bay 21 logo on the front of Chastaneve's car. Staring down the back of the Fishy Motorsports, Michael Angus. Can Chastity get the job done here? That is the question. Looking to the left, looking to the right. Can he get the run up the hill? Bearing in mind, you got the uphill braking. And Peter's out at the crest. Looking Chastity's got it done. Can he pull it up? The over and under coming down the hill. Looks like he's got it done. And they're battling up behind now as the far charging Kenny Ladder comes up behind Michael Stewart and Jamie McKnight and Matty Whitaker. Kenny doing really well here. A good little battle pack. Oh, that wide goes Whitaker. That's allowed to fuel him through. It's continuing on. Zach McDonald in an incident there. We might quickly go have a look at that one on the Supercheap Auto replay. Happened to Zach, a little bit loose coming out. Maybe. Another hard braking. Oh. Oh, and contact. Won't be too happy with that one. As we go back to live picks. And might just do a recap. James Scott, our race leader, is 2.8 seconds up the road from Brenton Hobson. And of course, that is another 2 seconds up the road from John Stone, another 1.5 seconds up the road to Morris. Then we've got Kirby, 3 seconds. Warboys in 6. There's only 10 seconds, 10.8 seconds after 6 laps behind John Stone. I reckon John Stone will be thinking he's comfortable here. If he can keep going at this pace over the next 6 laps, you'll probably have enough of a gap, I think, to get Warboys in the pits. So we'll just watch how this unfolds. We'll keep an eye on that gap interval. See how that pans out. War Boys, of course, in fresh air. I think we've really got the one battle on track at the moment. That's back here with Michael Stewart hunting down Jamie McKnight. A great little battle here. Let's watch these guys heading down through what I call the hexagon. 3 triple apex corner, this one. Very difficult to get right into the penultimate corner. McKnight looking like he's getting a little bit of legs on these guys. Zach McDonald and Tim Mulford involved in an incident. We might quickly go to the Supercheap Auto replay on that and see what's happened. Zach McDonald pushing right up behind Mulford. Another dive deep. I think that's the one we saw before. I think that might be SDK playing catch up on me. I think. Bit of a worry. And we'll go back to live picks. Stewie and McKnight side by side. Jamie having a real crack at it here. Michael staying well composed. Through the cross cut. Let's continue on here. Jump back up a little bit. I might stay on this battle a little bit longer, I think. It's very racy, these boys. We'll jump back up the group a little bit further. See Dave Kirby starting to come under a little bit of pressure from War Boys. So, of course, Kirby still needs to pit. So does Morris, Johnson, Hobson and Scott. So War Boys, the first of the cars that pitted in lap race 1. Of course, here at Supercheap Auto East Coast V8 series, you need to pit in one of the 2 races. It is making a very interesting rollout of strategy. As we come up to the top of the hill, War Boys closing that gap a little bit. Very loose from Kirby. Very un-Kirby-like. Manages to hang on to it. But allows War Boys to tighten the screws even more. See the hard charging WK&P car tucked up behind the West End Motor Group rear wing of the Fishy Motorsports entry from David Kirby. Looks like War Boys having a bit of a look here. He's going to get the job done. He's got the inside run. Great little overtake. Freeze War Boys from Kirby. But in saying that, he's still 5.6 seconds down the road from Ben Morris. Looks like Kirby's got no answer to come back with. He might just do a little bit of a jump around so they get out to a few people. We can see Christian Smart and Matty Whittaker having a great little battle still. That's on lap 9 of 20. It doesn't matter where you race in the East Coast Series, there's a battle somewhere. And we jump up again, take on Jamie McKnight and Stewie. That battle raging on. And Dave Kirby. Hang on to the back of War Boys. War Boys not walking away from as quick as I thought he would here. Which is great to see from Dave. Also might just do a quick gap check. So that leads now out to 15 seconds. So I reckon Scott would be thinking he's just about got enough there, I reckon. As for Ben Morris and Johnson, that gap's closing a little bit. Whether they got enough to get in front of Warboys will be the question as we move forward in this race. As Zach McDonald gets past Brady Baldwin back in 17th and 18th. What we might do is we might actually jump on and listen to a lap. That's a lap on board with David Kirby as we see Johnston and Morris first to blink out of those guys up front. Need to pit, so we still need Kirby, Johnston and Scott to pit. So you can see this second race pit stop hurting Johnston and Morris here a fair bit. But Winston keep an eye on them, see how they hard charge back through. We might just do a quick check on Kenny Ladder as well, as these boys are going to get themselves past Michael Stewart. Now putting pressure on Jamie McKnight in front. He's got Michael Angus in front of him, of course. And the two orange sister cars of Synergy Sim Racing. Not sure what's happened to Warboys, but Kirby's got past him again. So I'll just have a quick look at the Supercheap Auto replay, see if we can see something in here. Just a big dive. Warboys must have got loose coming out of the cut through. Of course, that's allowed Chastity back in as Hobbo's now dived into the pits as we go back to live pictures. These boys are still battling where they should be. James Scott well out in front. Kirby still battling here. Warboys made a big mistake. Exactly. Got to slow down. That's what I'd probably say too, Steve. What I was thinking. That just opens the door up for James Scott and Hobson even more. It's Hobson now, he's going to come out after Warboys. He's got to be watching this. This moves Warboys into P2. James Scott now, he's got that interval. He's already got that gap now out to... So I'm still on replay mode. Go back to live. That's a bit better. Sorry about that. Warboys is back in front of Kirby. And Chastity in with these guys as well. That gap's out to 21 seconds. I reckon James got to be feeling pretty safe right now that he can get in and out before Warboys gets to him. Chastity getting himself past Kirby in the background here. There you go. Warboys hit the yellow sausage and nearly flipped. That gets the job done. Continuing on. What we might do is we might just grab Dave from Race Control, have a very quick chat with Dave again. 7 to go, Dave. What's the word from Race Control?
Yeah, they're all falling asleep because it's lack of action. There's no action.
No, actually, the War Boys nearly flipped it on the roof, mate.
But as I said, some of us were a bit asleep.
Plenty of action. Kenny Ladder keeping the pressure on McKnight. McKnight up the back behind the Angus.
They are. They're definitely keeping the pressure on. They're going good. They're heading up now. There's a couple of times it's pretty wide up in the view, didn't really work off.
No, you can't do that, Mr. McKnight.
He just wanted to hang it all out there on the corner. He just wanted to hang it loose.
Yes, definitely doing well. Kenny Lattis, though, he's up 12 spots. He's battled out. Looks like the boys probably starting to feel no safety car in race 2. Probably hasn't helped their cause.
I find this track one of those tracks you don't tend not to get the safety cars.
Oh, big move from Ladder. Gets the job done on Angus, I think. No, not quite. Great defensive driving from Michael.
We were talking before at Race Control, we reckon those the HSR cars, I reckon they look pretty good, the new paint job they got.
Absolutely. Where is Stewie? That is a good looking machine.
Pretty good. They look really well done. They look really nice.
Yeah. Of course, not their usual orange, which makes it rather difficult for a commentator to get used to looking at a paint scheme.
I was wondering who it was at first, then realised, oh look, just Cowboys.
Kirby's into the pits.
He's always in the pits. That bloke lives in the pits. I heard that bloke has a secret fascination with Gunter too.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, he has. He sends him DM. It's almost like stalker material.
War Boys is under a bit of pressure from Chastanoof now. Is interesting.
He had a good comeback from the first race, and he was on the charge here too as well. He's fucking sorry. He had a ripper of a start, and he's going awesome, Blake.
Of course, Blake racing in the Victorian State Karting Championships in Albury-Wodonga this weekend. Let's see how he goes. UKS Central.
He doesn't need any luck. He'll be kicking ass.
Absolutely. Anyway, mate, we're down to our last 6. James Scott's going to have to roll the dice and pitch shortly. And I might let you get back down there, mate, because in case there's a flurry at the end.
All right, I'll talk to you later. See you, mate.
Thanks, Dave.
Bye.
So, not too much happening down in race control for this one. But it's starting to shape up for what's going to be a good finish as James Scott has entered down pit lane. If I can find which one he's on. Here he comes. And he's parked up. Keep an eye on the track map. War Boys coming down the start-finish line. This is going to get interesting. Here comes Blake. Here comes Chasty. I would have thought 20 seconds would have been enough. Might need to be 25 unless James has done something wrong in the pits with his fuel. But he's back out now in 4th spot. Watch out now for the hard-charging James Scott in these last 5 laps. As War Boys, the man who was last going into turn 1 of race 1. Now sitting in 1st spot. Great comeback drive from Blake. Chasty trying to hang on to him as well. But the man to watch now, I think, will be the hard-charging James Scott as he comes up behind Kenny Ladder. It's those new tyres working straight away. You can see War Boys and Chasty in front of him. The gap's only 3.3 seconds. Watch this close real quick. As we charge in. Already down to 2.9. Comes through the triple apex. Down to the penultimate corner. Gap down to 2.4. Got to remember, he's on very fresh tyres. The boys in front, tyres are 15 laps old. Expect James Scott here to show plenty of pace. Gap's closing to 2.2. Tries to pull it up. Steep uphill. Got to modulate the brake as you come over the crest. Get good car control again. This is where the new tyres will kick in as we get down to under 2 seconds now. Fresh tyres through, we're giving him a big boost. Closes that gap by 0.3 just through 4 corners. As we've got an incident we might jump to and come back to this battle. Paddy Mascoot and Matt Whitaker have had something. Going up into the big sweeping turn one as we were just talking about, I think. Yeah, that's not an easy one. As we go back to live picks. This gap now down to 1.1 seconds. So the hard charging James Scott. He get himself back in to the number 1 position. Unfortunately for Chastaneef and Warboys, you know you haven't got any tyres to fight this. As the gap's now down to 0.6 of a second. Some great driving from James. So manages not to hit Chasty there. Chasty a little bit loose. McKnight drops a spot to Hobson. A bit of battling in the background from these guys as well. This is the battle for the lead. Everyone's pitted. Last lap, James Scott a 1:31.3. Warboys a 1:33.27. A 2 seconds a lap difference of these fresh tyres. I expect James Scott to make light work of Warboys these next couple of corners. Cut across the crossover. That better acceleration from the ZB coming out of the corner, straight up the inside of Warboys. Warboys got no answer, of course. Chasty in the background throwing everything at it. And back to situation normal for James Scott. Expecting to drive away. We'll keep an eye on this Warboys Chastaneef battle. We might just drop back a little bit for the moment. Back to Brenton Hobson, our reigning series champion. Battling away with Michael Stewart. Beef Cheeks, Michael Angus from Fishy Motorsports behind, and Jamie McKnight in that little battle pack as well. Of course, lap 17 of 20. I have to agree, Steve. The guy is an absolute demon when it comes to driving supercar in iRacing around the COTA West circuit. In fact, around any circuit. His ability is phenomenal. As Hobbo gets the job done on Michael Stewart. So starting to see a few of these boys now with the fresher tyres moving through. As we rotate on back to McKnight. McKnight still trying to hang on to Michael Angus. Another little battle back here. Paul Young, Matty Whitaker. These two battling at the very rear, but still 18 and 20. No, sorry, 19 and 20. Still good points back here. Let's jump back up to Brody Baldwin. Of course, Banter Alliance missing the man, the myth, the legend, Roy Clark tonight. Leaving me a bit undercooked. As Michael Angus under pressure. Can I hold off McKnight, I think. James Scott already bounced that lead out to 2.4 seconds in front of him. As Ben Morris has just got past Warren Davis. As James Scott starts lap 19 of 20. And Michael Angus sitting in 7th. Still battling away, trying to get onto Stewie, keeping McKnight behind him. Our race leader, James Scott, on the penultimate lap. can McKnight do here? Can he do anything? Michael doing really well. McKnight's going to get him, is he? I don't know, he's very hard charge. Knight will now go to the outside. Some great driving here from Michael Angus. Up 6 spots in this race. He was up quite a few in the last. Great consistent drive. Battling very hard. Of course, James Scott's on the final lap now. So what can Jamie McKnight do on this final lap with Michael Angus? Keep a close eye on that one. Come back to that. Blake Warboy still under pressure from James Chastity. This is a battle for second and third. See Kenny Ladder hanging onto the back of these guys. He's up 14 spots from that first race. James Scott, the man, the myth, the legend. He comes through the cut through. Only got half a lap to go to get it home. Jump back on with McKnight and Angus. Been a great little battle to watch. As Michael, the old beef cheeks himself. Got McKnight's got the run on him this time, I think. McKnight goes for the inside dive. We're going to go too wide around the corner. Can Angus hang in there for the next corner? Side by side racing from these two. McKnight gets a bit loose. Of course, Damien Johnstone, our championship leader, gets in there. But there's one man we've got to jump to. Love to stave this little battle pack. As Angus just crushes. Oh, no. And James Scott crosses the line. And in second spot will be Warboys from Chastanooth, Ladder, Hobson, Michael Stewart. Great racing out there tonight. As we finish that one off. That was a great finish by Blake Warboys, get into second. James Chastanooth in third. Kenny Ladder home in fourth. Hobson in fifth. Michael Stewart finishes off up 5 spots into sixth. Great drive from Stewie with that one. Of course, Michael finishing in 11th in the first race. So that's some good average points out of that. Kept his nose clean. Great little battle there, Michael Angus was doing quite well as well. And it's all about this bloke. As it's time now, start doing what he does best. Some victory burnouts from James. That was an interesting battle to say the least. That one. As we'll just wait here in the green room, see if anyone can come and join us. Of course, next week we're off to Fuji. So we start the first of our longer races. So it's in for an enduro finish with a 200k race, followed by 2 300s at Daytona and Sandown. So getting ready for the big finish to this season of the Supercheap Auto East Coast Series. So looking forward to seeing how this all plays out, because I think James Scott, with the pace he's showing at the moment, will be a very hard man to beat, with him actually being in a situation where he'll have one round that he still hasn't dropped. So it'll be interesting to see. Sorry, one round missed that he didn't drop. Forward to seeing what can eventuate from all of that as continue on. You see what boys come in and join me. So in yet, but great drives, small field tonight, but still some good drives from quite a few of the pack. Jamie McKnight getting himself up into 8th. That was great to see. Warren Davis in the top 10. Great drive from Warren. Kenny Laddercup bouncing back into 4th. That's been an absolute epic race, this one. So it'll be interesting to see how that all pans out. As got a few people waiting for race control. Here we go. Here's the boys. Michael Stewart, congratulations on Driver of the Day. Hello, Michael. I don't think Michael can hear me. We'll start with James Scott, our race winner. How are you, James?
Well, yeah, not bad. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. That was a great little chase down of Wall Boys there in the end.
Yeah. I was just keeping an eye on the gap in the first bit of the race, trying to make sure I could get into most of the margin I needed to be able to come out pretty close to him, which I was able to do. And to be able to come out only sort of 4 seconds behind on brand new tyres was gold. I probably didn't get it quite right with Kenny coming out just ahead, but he stepped aside, which was good. And I think James had a bit of a moment at the last corner, which made getting past him easier than what I thought it was going to be. And that really helped me in the end.
Absolutely. Definitely another stellar drive, mate. You've definitely still finding some good form and coming back from your holiday.
Yeah. Obviously, having over a month off is never easy to come straight back in and be fast. Probably easy to do it over one lap, but to do it over a race, it takes a bit more time. So, no, it's feeling good. Car was a lot better tonight than what it was last week, or the last little while, to be honest. But it wasn't perfect, so I have to make sure it's tuned up, ready for the Pro Series.
Yeah, I was about to say that Pro Series is not too far away, and I think you'd be probably looking to have a good crack there.
Yeah, for sure. Having to be running somewhere near the front there, so I have to put some good work in, make sure the car's tuned up, and see what we can do against some of the best guys.
Sounds good. We'll have a quick chat to our second place man, Blake Warboys.
The mic on that might work.
That might work, yeah. So great fight back, mate, from being dead last at the end of race 1.
Yeah.
Sorry, dead last going into turn 1 at the end of race 1. Let me say that right.
Yeah. Look, good to come away with a second at the end of the night. No practice definitely doesn't do me any good. So, and going into next week, I'll have no practice again, being away for basically the whole week. So, hopefully, I've got a set up for the next week, but we'll find out.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah,
Of course, next week's going to be the Fuji Flash, 200 Ks around the Fuji circuit. It'll be interesting to see with that one as we sort of start shaping up towards what I call the enduro end of the season with the 300 Ks at Daytona and then 300 at Sandown. That's going to be a bit of a challenge for everybody, I think. And we'll have a quick chat to our third place getter, Mr. James Chastaneuf.
Yeah, good job.
Good job, third. Yeah.
No, I meant on my last name, to be honest. I paused there for a bit, but pulled it off.
I've had plenty of practice. when you're running up the front, it gets mentioned a bit.
Yeah, it tends to happen.
No, you must be pretty happy. Must be pretty happy running in third tonight.
Yeah, I kind of made a bit of a gamble at turn 1, and it cost me a lot of track position, and I think that probably cost me the race, to be honest. There's a few people I had to try and get through, and obviously it put me back behind Blake. So, and then there was a bit of damage to my car as well. I don't know if that really affected my car too much or not, but yeah, that's precious time there. I don't know if I would have been fast enough to beat James there, but yeah, probably should have been a little bit higher up than that.
Yeah, she's a tough one, but you've done well, mate, to be sitting in third. And, of course, the man who's driver of the day, who did really well, up 5 spots in that second race, as well as consistent in the first race, knocking on the top 10, of course, is Michael Stewart. Well done, Stewie.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, yep.
Yeah, no, I was a little bit lucky there. First race had some damage after T1 incident and went into the pit decided to pit early and sort of got back to, I think, about 11th or something. So
Yep.
I was pretty happy to get back to that position. And second race, trying to hold off the quick guys, I was sweating bullets. And the last 5 laps, I only had 2 incidences left, so I was doubly sweating. So no, good fun, really good fun.
That's good, mate. Anyone you want to give a shout out to, Stewie?
Oh yeah, obviously just to my Baylan Stewart Foundation. If anybody's checked out the website or our Facebook page, we've got a petition going to have a memorial stone and plaque at Baylan's Memorial Chair. You know how you've got to convince councils, so the more the merrier. So yeah, if everybody could jump onto that and sign it, they'll ask you to pay or share. So just share, please don't pay like that. That's just going to change.org. But that's about it, guys. Thanks.
No worries, Michael. And Chastity, anyone you want to give a thanks or shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to the Banter Alliance boys. Another good race. Shout out to Roy, he couldn't make it. I'm not sure why he wasn't here, but I'm sure he had something important on. Yeah, thanks to our main sponsors, VFS, One Spot, and Locked On iRacing Podcast. So yeah, hopefully some new things happening in the next season coming up. But yeah, thanks to all those guys.
Of course, the Supercheap Auto replay very much missed Roy Clark tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have. He definitely throws up a couple of exciting moments.
Definitely. And Blake, anyone you want to give a shout out to, mate?
Well, to the team, WK&P Sim Sports, forever growing, which is good to see. Wodonga Carts and Parts, should be catching up with a lot of the guys this weekend, so can't wait for that. Getting back in the go-kart. LGK Carts Australia, Wodonga Carts and Parts, Supercheap Auto, Rebel, EKS.
I haven't done that list for you, have I?
And yeah, there's so many more new sponsors who have come on board that I just haven't had time to write down yet. So thanks to everyone that's jumped on with the team this season. Pool Guys, there's another one. But yeah, and the guys for some good racing tonight. It was good fun.
No worries, mate. And Scotty, you can finish it off with the shout outs, buddy.
Yeah, mate. Obviously, thanks to all the guys at SSR. It wasn't much practice this week, but car still felt pretty good. So, and obviously, great sponsors: Wave Run Performance, Smith & Sons, Too Easy Finance, West End Mazda, New Lawn Oils, and yeah, I think that's it. And obviously, you guys for the broadcast, the series admin, and everyone out on the track.
Too easy, mate. And I'm just going to say big. Of course, talked about Fuji next week, and just going to basically close the broadcast out by thanking you boys coming in and having a chat, thanking you boys and all the others on track tonight for putting on what I thought was another entertaining, great races to watch. I say races because there was 2 of them. Big thanks to the admin boys, and of course a huge thank you to everybody out there watching us. We had reasonable numbers again tonight, which was great, especially considering we've been away. I was away for a couple of weeks, but we're back on track. And on that note, it's a good night from myself and a good night from the boys, and we'll see everybody again in a week's time. Good night.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, 2-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small, some people tinker some degree between those 2 variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle name.